Douglas, what's wrong with you?
You have my apologies. The good news is she's alive. However, she suffered severe damage to the legs and spine. Her legs are broken in multiple places, and there's severe nerve and tissue damage to the spine. Sorry, but there really isn't an easy way to say this.
Say what? Say what?
Sorry, just tell me.
Are you comfortable, miss?
What happened? Why am I in the hospital?
You were in an accident. You were in King Red Hospital. You don't remember?
All I knew was walk crossing the street and then nothing. How long have I been out?
Not long. Only 24 hours.
Only 24 hours. That's a long time.
Well, not really. With someone in your situation, it's really out for a few days at least. If they wake up well.
Someone in my situation. People get hit by cars all the time. Ouch! Why can't I feel my legs?
I'm sorry.
What is this? Why can't I feel my legs?
I'm sorry. The doctor will be here shortly.
Please tell me what's going on. I can't feel my back. Stand. Mom, why can't I feel my leg? I tried to ask the nurse, but she won't tell me. I know she knows what's going on.
Miss, I'm Dr. Leon. You've suffered severe damage to your legs and spine.
Is that why I can't feel my legs?
Yes.
Well, okay. Well, how long? How long do you make it better? How long? Why are you looking at them like that? You can fix it, right?
I'm sorry. Problem is that.
What do you mean you're sorry? What do you mean, Mom?
The damage is severe. I'm sorry, but there's nothing further we can do.
What? What do you mean?
The damage is irreparable. You're paralyzed from the waist down.
What? No! No! No, get out! Get out!
It's gonna be okay, honey. It's gonna be okay.
Excuse me, miss. Yes. I'm Detective Lance. I'm sorry about. I just want to let you know that we caught the guy. He's going to be in court on Friday. And don't worry, the prosecution will prosecute him extreme reckless. Again, I'm sorry.
Wait. Extreme prejudice. Why?
This is sixth offense.
6?
Yeah, don't worry. He's gonna be okay. They're again, I'm sorry. After.
Thank you. All rise for the Honorable Judge Karen.
I can't believe you hurt my niece like that. How could you? You know how many friends? How could they? Order! Any more outbursts like that and you're all out of here.
Your Honor, it's understandable that kind of reaction based on the
I understand that tensions may be high right now, but while you're in my courtroom, you will keep them in check, or I will help you to do so. Ms. Prosecutor, you may begin.
Thank you, Noel. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, April 1st, January 1st, April 10th, June 11th, November 20th, 2014. What do all these dates have in common? The defendant. 6 hit-and-run accidents in this year alone. Granted, none of those accidents ended in any of the injuries to the victims until this date, November 20th, 2014. On November 20th, 2014, the defendant hit and ran over a 17-year-old girl, leaving her limp body on the streets of New York City and leaving her paralyzed from the waist down. This little girl actually had dreams to be dancing at Juilliard. She had actually a full scholarship to go there. Now, she can't walk. Her dreams of going to Juilliard, gone, 10 seconds, just like that. Now, I know that some of you may be saying, well, maybe it was just an accident, an honest mistake. Maybe, just maybe. Innocent until proven guilty, right? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you that is not one of these cases. As I proceed to show evidence of the defendant's misconduct, negligence, drunk driving, and just blatant disregard for all of us that walk the streets of New York City every day, I'm going to prove that actually, this wasn't an honest slip-up. This was actually something that has gone on and on and on with him. The last time I checked, it's 3 strikes, you're out, right? It's not 4 or 5 or 6, and definitely not 7. Ladies and gentlemen of the court, the defendant has gotten more than 2 strikes over and over and over again. I implore you to say the words that should have been said a long time ago, which is 3 strikes, you're out. Thank you, Your Honor.
1, 2, 3, 4, and yes, even up to 7 times. One is still innocent until proven guilty. A fact that my learned friend here has forgotten until she needs to hear those words in her corner, in your corners, in my corners. There are always undoubtedly 2 sides to a story, and before you can render any sort of verdict, both sides need to be heard. Was my defendant drinking the night of the accident? Yes, he was, which may explain why he did not stop. But what if he did try to stop? What if he stepped on the brakes but the brakes failed? What if he suffers from frequent blackouts? What if he too has suffered at the hands of the hit and run driver? Ladies and gentlemen, my client understands very well the pain of loss. After losing his family 5 years ago to a drunk driver, he truly understands how difficult this can be. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, Jason Cooper is not a hardened criminal as the prosecution so desperately tries to portray him as. Rather, he's a man who lost his wife, son, and daughter in a single night. Since that time, he has not been the same man. But who would be? Jason Cooper needs help, not prison. I don't think any of us can truly understand what he has been through, nor how difficult it must be for him today, in this courtroom, on trial for the very same thing that killed his family. What happens to the 17-year-old girl is truly a tragedy. We're not making excuses, nor trying to dismiss that fact. What we are asking for is justice, true justice, in that we help rehabilitate our fellow man, and not merely punish him for his misdeeds, which is the true purpose of the penal system. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I implore you, no, I challenge you, ask yourself, if I were Jason Cooper here today on trial, what would I want to be done to me? Prison, or help from the system which claims to be for the people? Thank you.
Will the defense call its first witness?
Yes, Your Honor. I would like to call the defendant to the stand.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth? The truth. So help you God.
I do.
Can you please state your name for the record?
Yes. My name is Jason Cooper.
Mr. Cooper, do you recall the events that took place on November 20th, 2014?
I do. It was a very rainy night. I was coming home from a bar, and I was driving too fast, and I hit someone. I hit the girl, and I didn't stop. I feel so terrible about that.
Why didn't you stop? Why didn't you see if she was okay?
I was embarrassed, I was scared, I was angry, I was upset, I was hurt.
Why were you embarrassed? What did you be embarrassed about?
Because the same thing happened to me. 5 years ago, my family was hit by a drunk driver. It was a tough experience, a worse experience. But they caught the guy that did it. We went to court just like this. And I made him look at my face every single day in court so that he could see the pain that he caused to me and my family. My wife died, my son died, and my dearest daughter died in that accident. Every chance I got, I tried to make him feel what he was making me feel. The pain and the loss and the suffering. I remember one interview in particular where he was talking to the news media, asking, begging for forgiveness. I told him that he would never understand how I feel unless I did something to his family, or if I killed his family, or I made him feel the pain that I feel. He just never understood. It was just bad. But the worst part is that my drunk driver wasn't a drunk driver. He wasn't drunk. There was a defect in the brakes of the car, and that's what caused the accident. The car company tried to cover it up, but that still didn't make me feel any better. The verdict at the trial was guilty. They sent this man to prison, an innocent man, a good man, to prison. He died in prison at the hands of an inmate. The guilt I felt, the embarrassment I felt, the frustration just mounted even more. Actually, that night when we got hit, I had an argument with my wife. A very bad argument. Our worst. And I actually told her something that I regret to this day. I told her it was a mistake that I married you. Tears coming down her face was the last thing I saw before the car hit us.
Is that why you became drunk?
Yes, it was the only thing I had. I lost my family, I lost my friends, I lost any money I had. All I had left was the alcohol. That was the only thing that was there for me.
Mr. Cooper, do you think you should go to prison for what you have done?
Prison? Prison is too good for me. I need help. I need help from something. I need help from someone.
No further questions, Joanne.
You say that you started drinking heavily after that day 5 years ago, correct?
Well,
But actually, I have information here that says that you've been drinking for the past 10 years. I mean,
Yeah.
isn't that correct? But in addition to that, there's reports that there's several complaints from domestic violence calls from your wife and children, and it got so bad that you put your wife in the hospital. Isn't that correct?
It's not the whole story.
Oh, so you admit that you have a problem with drinking?
That's That's not what I said.
Then please, Mr. Cooper, explain to us the rest of the story. If you like, you can read the story. I can read the story dating back from the time when you were in college, before you even married, when you almost beat a boy to death in a drunken stupor.
Objection, Your Honor. Irrelevant. Prosecution is spinning stories.
Sustained. Watch it, counselor.
Okay, not relevant. So what about on May 24th, 2012, huh? When you assaulted one of your office workers at an office party? Do we not know the whole story about that either? It's right here in black and white. These are only the times that you weren't behind the wheel.
Is there a question here, Your Honor?
Is there, counselor?
Just one, Your Honor. On that day 5 years ago when your family was killed, were you drinking?
Objection! Prosecution is badgering the witness.
Overruled. The witness will answer the question.
Yes, I was.
And you still cling to your innocence and expect this jury to feel sorry for you and pardon you? No more further questions, Your Honor.
Court is dismissed until tomorrow.
Julia, are you okay, honey? Are you okay?
Oh yeah, Mom. I couldn't be any better. I can't walk. I can't dance. I can't go to Juilliard. Yeah, life couldn't get any better. I hope that man rots in prison for the rest of his life.
You don't need that.
Yes, I do. I do mean that. You heard him, Mom. Prison is too good for him. Prison is death is too good for someone who has no reason to live. I had a reason to live. I had dreams, goals, and ambitions. And now I'm just like him, with nothing to live for. Yes. I hope they throw the book at him.
I'm disappointed in you, Julia. This is not the way I raised you. I understand this is difficult, and I too am just as angry as you are about what that man stole from you. But the way you are acting now, wanting to throw the book at him, wishing he would die, this is not the way God would want you to treat him, and you know it. After all God has done for us, let me remind you, it was God that got you into Juilliard. And it was God that spared your life in that accident. I know it's not fair. I know it's not right. But I am so grateful that he saved your life. And because he did, he has a job for you to do, Julia. And believe it or not, he has a job for that young man to do too.
He goes spitting this God stuff. Mom, where are you gonna get it? Not everything has to do about God. This has nothing to do with God. The way I treat him or what I want to happen to him has nothing to do with God. This has nothing to do with God. God is not on trial here. I'm not sentencing God to death.
Inasmuch as ye have done it to the least of these, you have done it unto me. So tell me, Julia, what is the difference? What is the difference between what God wants and what that man needs? That man needs forgiveness.
No, don't you dare tell me to forgive him.
You will forgive him, and you will ask God to give you strength. And when you do, he will give you strength, and you'll be able to forgive him from your heart.
No. I will never be able to forgive him.
Then God will not be able to forgive you. And you will be lost. And then you will truly be dead. And then I would have truly lost my daughter.
Grace from Channel 7 News. Just one question. One question for you, Madam Prosecutor. There are some who say that you're taking this case way too seriously and way too personally, seeing as your own parents died in a car crash by a drunk driver. Any comment?
This case has nothing to do with me or the fact that my family was killed by a drunk driver. It has everything to do with a 17-year-old girl and getting justice for her, and the countless others that the defendant has hurt with his actions.
But don't you feel sorry for the young lady, seeing as she was the same age as you were when your parents were killed?
I'll say this again. This has nothing to do with me. No more questions.
Well, there you have it, folks. Tensions are still high as we enter the second week of this trial. When we return, we'll be providing live coverage as the prosecution presents its first witness. I'm Sharon Grace for Channel 7 News.
All rise for the Honorable Judge Herring.
Your Honor, in the interest of time, I'd like to call my first witness, the victim, to the stand right now.
The prosecution will call the first witness. The prosecution will call the first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm calling Miss Lila to the stand, please. Ask the jury please give her some time. She's lost use of her legs.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
Yes. Well, can you please state your name for the record?
Lila and William, you call me Lila. I mean, Lila.
Okay, Miss Lila. Can you please tell me what you remember of the day of November 20th, 2014?
I remember heading to the dance studio around 3:30 after picking up the milk from the mailbox. And then I was involved in a car accident. The next thing I knew, I was in the hospital.
You mentioned in your deposition that you were picking up mail. Could you tell us what you were picking up, what you received in the mail?
I received. I received. A full scholarship.
A full scholarship.
To Juilliard.
A full scholarship. Now, when you regained consciousness at the hospital, did you speak to the doctor? And what did he tell you?
Told me that I was paralyzed from the waist down.
Was there nothing that could be done? No surgery that could regain the use of your legs?
No, there was nothing he could do for me.
Ms. Lila, I know you've been through a lot, so I don't want to prolong this for you. I just have one question. Do you believe that the defendant should pay for what he's done to you?
My mother told me a story about this man named Peter. He was a devoted follower of Jesus, and he asked, how many times do I have to forgive my brother who sinned against me? 7 times? No, Jesus answered, 7 times 7. When the doctor told me that I lost my legs, I was angry. I couldn't understand why something this horrible would happen to me. And then I learned about this guy's past crime. And why? Someone so bad as him is allowed to walk away free while I sit in this chair for the rest of my life. I wanted justice. No, I wanted vengeance. God will not forgive us unless we forgive others. That's what I've been learning through the experience. Jesus taught me that we need to forgive others 7 times, 70 times. I'm in need of so much forgiveness that I can't condemn another person, regardless of how great their offense is. I can't. We are all sinners in need of God's grace. I cannot judge another one of God's children. The only thing I can do is help him believe that there is salvation and forgiveness, all the things that we've done wrong. Help him to see that there is love and forgiveness in the Savior through my action, by forgiving from the bottom of my heart.
Wait. Are you saying that you forgive the defendant?
Yes. Yes. I forgive you so that you will have hope and believe that there is a God in heaven who loves and forgives you too. Yes.
Your Honor, I object to this.
Objection. It's your witness, Counselor.
Your Honor, I feel that due to her injuries, she's not really thinking properly. So please strike her testimony from the record.
Objection, Your Honor. The witness was cleared by the prosecution's own medical team to stand trial here today.
Well, they need to be fired. They need to be fired. She's obviously not in her right mind. Your Honor, this is a very important case. We need to send a message. Drink and driving is not going to be just getting a slap on the wrist. They're going to get slapped and they're going to get punished. That's what they're going to get. Your Honor, this case is not just about November 20th, 2014. It's about January 1st and March 10th and April 26th and July and August and September and October. How did you forgive this guy? He's a monster. After everything that he stole from me. I mean, from you.
No, he didn't. It was by God's grace and mercy that I got into Juilliard and that I died in that car accident. By his action, I'm able to thank God through my action by upholding his principle of his kingdom.
Insane! She's insane, Your Honor! You can't listen to her testimony. You have to strike it from the record. You have to strike it from the record!
Back off and sit down, Counselor, before I hold you in contempt. Does the defense wish to cross-examine?
No need, Your Honor.
Very well. We will break for a brief recess, at which time the jury will render their verdict. However, I must remind the jury that although the victim has forgiven the defendant, this does not oblige the jury to return a verdict of not guilty. Although forgiveness is granted and is a wonderful gift to receive, it does not always guarantee that one will have to face the consequences of his or her actions. The benefits of receiving forgiveness are not always seen in this present age, and we are still responsible for our actions. Please consider the facts of this case and render your verdict accordingly. Court adjourned.
Kim, Leon. Let's go. Irene. Are you walking now?
I'm not doing pedestrian.
Not anymore? Okay, but I still need you here.
Why?
So everybody's in the plates backstage.
¿De cuánto estamos hablando?
Doctor, my doctor. Friends out here. All right. Hey, Galita.
We need a doctor here.
You don't joke. You're like that girl when
Pedestrian. Okay, all right.
Oh, this records?
Yeah, he's recording. Hold on.
What's up?
Okay, obviously not enough right now.
Waiting for Nathan. Where's Nathan? After the Let's not have any more people disappear. I found more than that, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, whereas we come together to rehearse briefly before we put on this play tonight to give a message to the people, those who watch, and that they will get the message, and that we will glorify you through our actions and our words.
All right. Everyone else besides the bystanders backstage. Bystanders to my left. Start over there. That's gonna start. Everyone else is backstage. Everyone else is backstage. Thank you.
Right here.
Dale, bring the bed up front. What? Bring the bed up front. Yeah, lights will go dark.
This is not the way I raised you, and you know it. And you know.
There you have it, folks. Tensions are still high here at the courtroom as we enter the second week of this trial. When we return, we'll be providing full coverage as the prosecution presents its first witness. I'm Sharon Grace for Channel 7 News.
Insane! She's insane! Are you listening to this? This is ridiculous. You have to strike her. You have to strike everything from cracker.
Very well. We will break for a brief recess, at which time the jury will render their verdict. However, I must remind the jury that although the victim has forgiven the defendant, this does not oblige the jury to return a verdict of not guilty. Although forgiveness is granted and is a wonderful gift to receive, it does not always guarantee that one will not have to face consequences for his or her actions. The benefits of receiving forgiveness are not always